Welcome to Dr. Eitner's Super Reads. One book, 2 minutes, and 3 takeaways that you can apply to your classroom, school, or district. Let's get right to it. Here's Superintendent Eitner.
Hello and welcome back to Super Reads, where we do one book with a 2-minute summary and 3 takeaways. I'm your host, Jay. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks for the feedback as always. And I apologize in advance. My voice is a little bit hoarse and groggy right now because I am getting over cold number umpteen thousand as my daughters go to pre-K and come home every week with some type of new cold that we love to pass around the house. I have come to consensus that a pre-K classroom is actually more of a petri dish, and I would wish that we stop coming home with new ways of catching colds and or viruses. But that being said, if you tolerate my voice during this episode, I believe you'll learn quite a bit. HyperDocs is a topic that's been around for a while, but a little bit tricky to get into. But the book that I came across really lets you dive in and have a good shot at it. So let's go. The HyperDocs Handbook was published in 2016 and is written by Lisa Highfill, Kelly Hilton, and Sarah Landis. As technology continues to evolve at such a rapid pace, we are constantly exploring new technologies, apps, and websites to enhance the learning process. One thing I love about the pace is that we are using less and less paper. Slowly, we are fading out of the worksheet mantra, with kids just doing worksheets all day long. Now, at one point, I was in that club when I first started teaching. But once I saw technology and how we could change that, I thankfully changed with it and started cutting out all of the paper that I was using. Now, one of the neater concepts that I stumbled upon was the concept of HyperDocs. HyperDocs focuses on a digital lesson and unit plans that are used with GAF, so Google Apps for Education, as the forefront of the planning and learning process. HyperDocs are a great way of dipping your toe into blended and or hybrid learning. Instead of designing a lesson plan based on paper and paper book assignments, your lessons can be focused on web tools, which also hone in on personalized learning, since the students can pick and choose how to complete their learning in your assignments. Your lessons can be grouped by RTI models, whole class instruction, or even individual instruction, and can be implemented on the elementary, middle, high school, and college levels. HyperDocs are also great for special ed teachers that need to modify lessons, for academic coaches to help teachers, and even administrators running staff meetings. I had never liked to call them staff meetings. My boss used to call them staff conversations because it sounded like less painful. Always thankful for that, Mark. Thank you. The book lays out how to create a HyperDoc step by step in simplistic language. Don't be fooled. This is not something you could create in one prep period or even a week work of the prep. It's going to take some time to customize your needs, but thankfully this book offers numerous examples for all levels and all grades. The book also encourages you to take advantage of the online PLN, the Personal Learning Network, which could be on Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, Snap, or a Facebook group. The book also offers other social media avenues and even a HyperDocs bootcamp, which I strongly recommend that you look into. So I get it. You're probably thinking, what is a HyperDoc, even though I talked about it for 2 minutes? 2 minutes really doesn't do it any justice. But I encourage you to go get the book. It's on Amazon. If you check the show notes, you could follow the authors on Twitter, and there's a link in purchasing the book. There's some great YouTube videos out there as well, and their Facebook group is really awesome. And I suggest, even if you don't want to buy the book right now, go check it out online first and see how it actually works and what it does for people. When I say people, I mean teachers, students, and administrators. Once you get the hang of it, it's awesome. And here's some takeaways. Takeaway number 1. While this concept, as explained, can seem a bit scary and cumbersome, the book lays out from start to finish how to create a HyperDoc itself. As mentioned earlier, this is going to take some time and some practice. And if you're not savvy with Google Apps for Education, it's probably going to take longer. But have no fear, there are scads of tutorials throughout the book on how to use Google Apps and how to integrate it into HyperDocs. Second takeaway. There are over 60 examples of HyperDocs in the book that range from QR codes to simple links. HyperDocs can be tailored for you by making a copy of the HyperDoc to your own drive, and then you could customize it from there. Takeaway number 3, HyperDocs allows you to utilize other apps and websites that you are comfortable with. So if you like Canva, if you like Padlet, Doctopus, HaikuDeck, Flipgrid, whatever the latest buzz is, you could integrate those websites into the HyperDoc itself. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. So that's it. I hope everybody's a little more interested in HyperDocs, or at least I got you a little bit intrigued. Definitely follow the authors. Lisa Highfield's at L. Highfield. Kelly Hilton is at Kelly Hilton. And Sarah Landis is at Sarah Landis. Check out the book. It's on Amazon. And again, just start Googling around with HyperDocs. You're going to see all kinds of really cool opportunities and eventually some great time saving for you as a teacher or administrator, and very super happy, excited kids, because this is new learning and it's awesome. I'm Jay. See you next week. Oh yeah, I forgot to say it. Onward.